What's up, everybody? Josh Armijo here. I hope everybody's doing good and well and stuff. I got an album review to do for you, and I'm going to be talking to you about the new album from the band Yob, entitled Clearing the Path to Ascend. This is scheduled to be released on September 2nd through Neurot Recordings. Now, if you're not too familiar with this band, they are based out of Eugene, Oregon, and the best way to describe the sound of this band would be a very philosophical, yet extremely crushing style of doom metal. Yeah. I definitely consider Yob to be one of the heaviest and loudest doom metal bands I've ever heard. I mean, throughout the 2000s, this has been a band that has just been consistently delivering some incredible music for the first half of this band's career, and then later on, towards the first decade of the 2000s, is when we get a more complex and meaningful side of this band's style. I mean, when I think of Yob, I definitely think of some of this band's earlier works, 2003's Catharsis, 2005's The Unreal Never Lived, and then after their hiatus of some sorts, we got the next era of this band, with releases such as The Great Cessation and 2011's Atma. Both really, really incredible albums in their own right, and just further proving why Mike Scheidt is one of the best singer-songwriters in not only doom metal, but metal, period. He is such an incredible, gifted person, and a wonderful human being at that, too. Yeah, great live band, great work ethic, just a very, very consistently heavy sort of pace. And then, of course, soon after that, Mike Scheidt continued to work on other great musical opportunities, of course, with the debut from Vol a couple years ago. I want to say it happened last year, but the self-titled Vol release with members of Agalloch and Ludacra, just some really, really great stuff. But now we have new Yob. When I found out Yob were coming out with a new album, I was excited. I could not wait to hear how they were going to, what they were going to be doing this time around, and now here we are with their 7th full length entitled Clearing the Path to Ascend. It's 4 tracks, and it clocks in at around 62 minutes in length, so like any Yob release, this is something that requires your absolute listening ears. No skipping tracks, no fast forwarding through anything. Each of the 4 tracks that are showcased on here is just like is a journey. It's a journey of some sorts. It feels like I'm slipping on words here, but there's way too many things to describe what this new Yob record is all about. I believe with Clearing the Path to Ascend, they not only take what they did, they took what they did with Atma, and they refined things just a little bit smoother. They made things flow a lot better. And there is just so much grace and beauty to be heard with this album. Within the 4 tracks and the whole running time, it's just an absolute experience. This is a doom metal listening experience, and Yob should feel proud of themselves for making such a wonderful, beautiful doom metal record. This is definitely one of the best doom metal albums of 2014, and definitely, to me, one of the very best of this year. Pretty much, it's a riff clinic all the way throughout. Mike Scheidt playing some incredibly devastating riffs on this album. Pretty much starting off great with In Our Blood, and then going on to tracks like, then the next 3 tracks down, Nothing to Win, Unmask the Sparrows, and Narrow. Very multi-layered, very devastating. It can be very calm and peaceful at one moment, and then it can be just straight out destructive in the next. Going back to In Our Blood, you get the instances of both the calm riffs and the very, very powerful doom metal riffs. He is a guitar genius, and he definitely handles the instrumentation here so wonderfully. Very, very incredible guitar riff work going on here. I'm really, really appreciating the attention to detail that's being put forward with the guitar. Moving on to more lengthier tracks like Unmask the Sparrows. He does some very, very intricate guitar work on that track. And then going back to Nothing to Win, I think even in the shortest track of the album, he delivers some incredible guitar playing skills on that track. It's very, very moving and very much worth your time and attention. The bottom end of this album sounds very great too. I love the bass tone. It is very heavy. It is very clear and audible for this style and production. I think this is a very, very well mixed album, and I think this bass definitely shines forth very nicely. It's very gravelly. It's very crushing. Not too loud, but yet it gets the job done precisely. I think the bass tone is very, very smooth and powerful all the way throughout. Drum-wise, this guy is a great, great drummer. He definitely handles the drums here very, very well. Very well-paced, very methodical, very intelligent, very smart. He doesn't try to be too fast or too slow. It is an incredibly perfect pace for a doom metal record. Even when it comes to the more lengthier tracks of the record, he definitely showcases what strong stamina and skills he can showcase here. Great, great fills, great, great double bass, a lot of awesome patterns and syncopation. It's just a really well-structured drum performance, and I'm really appreciating some of the great things that he handles with the drums, especially with the opening track, In Our Blood, and then, of course, going on to the closer of this album, Narrow, which is the longest song on here at about 18 minutes. Really, really great drum performance. And, yeah. Now we get on to the vocals. Mike Scheidt pretty much is one of, like I said, I consider him to be one of the most powerful and meaningful people within doom metal and metal in general, and one of the best singer-songwriters in this medium today. And with this album, he definitely proves why he is such a dominant force as a singer and as a growler. He has one of the most recognizable voices to be heard within the doom metal genre. Just his high range sort of singing style is just really, really amazing. I love the clean sounding wailing and vocals that he brings, especially once again going to the track In Our Blood. He does some incredible singing on that track. And then moving on to later tracks like Unmask the Sparrows and Narrow, which I definitely think is one of the best, probably the most moving and emotional track on here. His singing is just something to behold, and not to mention his growls. Beneath such a beautiful singing voice lies some incredibly deep and bellowing growls. He is an incredible growler, and he definitely commands you with whatever he's talking about on the tracks, on all 4 of the tracks that are on here. It's an incredible vocal style. He has some great, great growls, and definitely it has more variety when it gets to switching between that and the singing. I think it's really, really amazing. So overall, if you're a fan of Yob, you pretty much are going to feel very comfortable and right at home listening to this album. I think Clearing the Path to Ascend is one of the best doom metal albums of 2014, and probably one of the best of 2014, period. Yob are amazing, and they are pretty much consistently proving why they are such a force in doom metal. So this is something well worth your time, your money, and your patience. So if you happen to get this when it comes out, please make an effort to do so. Every track on here is worth every single repeated listen. So I'm going to leave you some links in the description box as to how you can get a hold of this and listen to it. I will link you to the Neurot Recordings web store where you can purchase physical copies. There are CDs and t-shirt options available. Neurot Recordings is currently streaming this album in full on its SoundCloud page. I will also link you to that so you can stream it, listen to it in its entirety, and hear it for yourself and be your own judge as to whether you think it's worthy of being purchased or not. And I believe Relapse Records is also putting out the vinyl version of this album. So there are plenty of vinyl colors and options to be available for this album. So if Yob is what you're into, I know I'm into them, so definitely get up on that. So again, the album is Clearing the Path to Ascend by Yob. This is released on Neurot Recordings. It will be available this weekend overseas and in North America on September 2nd. Definitely pick this up, and I'm going to give this a very solid 9.5 out of 10. Yob are one of the best doom metal bands ever. So support this band. I'm going to conclude this review. Thanks all for watching. Thanks for joining my channel, and until the next time, Army Hell out.